Welcome back to the Huddle YouTube channel. I'm your host, Owen, where today we are slowly becoming a Tennessee Titans fan account. They just made one of the best trades I think they possibly could have moving into next season, and on top of all the other coaching hires and the amount of elements they have to add to their team this offseason, I do think they're going to become one of the teams that I am the highest on coming up following this upcoming draft and NFL free agency. So, the trade I'm talking about is it went 1-for-1 with the New York Jets, getting Robert Saleh, his old buddy, back, and Jermaine Johnson off the edge in exchange for nose tackle T'Vondre Sweat. Now, Sweat, great player. Massive, ran crazy at the combine, was utilized all over the place in his time at Texas, and has been a decent enough nose tackle for the Tennessee Titans this year and being a running mate with Jeffrey Simmons. Actually, last night, we did our weekly Wednesday night live stream, which I do. I do one on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, and last night we did a 2-round mock draft where me and my two other co-hosts went through and rotated picks, and I ended up having the Tennessee Titans' first pick in the first round and giving them Caleb Downs, just giving him the best possible defensive player available. And then on the second go-around, I was looking at this to determine what the pick should probably be, and I was debating giving them Caden McDonald and or Lee Hunter, who had fallen to the second round, pick number 34 overall. However, or 35 overall, apologies. However, I didn't have control of the pick, but also T'Vondre Sweat was there, and this draft class is surprisingly deep at nose tackle. So to improve that defensive line for the Tennessee Titans was an element of what kind of tackle do you want to add for them? Because they have a guy who's already that stereotypical nose tackle. What they would need to add is maybe a longer-limbed 5-tech to go along with Jeffrey Simmons and Sweat, which they now have just gotten in that Jermaine Johnson. So now they have their 2 5-techs or 4 eyes on the outside in sacrifice for a nose tech in a draft class that is going to be super deep with noses. Just to run down my list in order of my favorite nose tackles in this draft class alone, we have Dominic Orange from Iowa State, Christian Miller from Georgia, Lee Hunter from Texas Tech, Caden McDonald from Ohio State, Darrell Jackson Jr. from Florida State, Dante Corleone from Cincinnati, Chris McClellan, who I love, is a day 3 nose tackle from Missouri, and Cole Brevard from Texas, Devontae Capehart as like a later day 3, just pure run-stuffing nose tackle from Clemson. There are so many guys, and Tim Keenan I'm not the biggest fan of, but I know that he's a name that other people like in the nose tackle room this year. But that was like, 10 nose tackles? I could do a top 10 of just nose tackles alone from this draft class. So you have a guy in T'Vondre Sweat who was kind of a one-note nose tackle type player. You're swapping out for a more scheme fit, who's a fit with the coach you previously had in Robert Saleh with Jermaine Johnson, and now you can continue to add to that edge group off the ball with Oladipo and some other guys that you can add in replacing Arden Key, who's leaving free agency. So, Tennessee Titans, phenomenal move. I'm going to be on the bandwagon, I think, this year. Between the Brian Daboll hiring, this trade, and everything else they're going to be doing to add around Cam Ward and that new head coach there in Tennessee, I think that is going to be something that I'm going to be all for, especially in an AFC South that is going to be very competitive this year. So, if you want, check out those live streams every Tuesday and Wednesday night here, or the past ones we've been doing for the past couple months. And I'll see you guys in the next video.